Okay, 8th grade science. We're going to do some notes for the next section. So let's see how this goes. See if I can get the notes for you. Okay, solutions, acid, and bases are what we are working with now in this section. Okay, you have a copy of the notes. You need to write them in your notebook. Solutions, solubility, and concentration. Section 1. Okay, a solution is a mixture that has the same composition, color, density, and taste throughout. So like salt water would be a mixture. It's all the same. You can't just take something. There are ways to get the salt out, but you can't just look at it and take the salt out. Okay, a solute is the substance that is being dissolved into the in this case, that would be the salt, and a solvent is the substance doing the dissolving. That would be water in salt water. So that's an example right there. So solutions can also be gaseous, like the air you breathe, or even solid, like brass and sterling silver. Those are things that are mixed together. Sterling silver, you can't look at it and see and get parts of it out. It's up here like solution. It's a mixture. It has the same color, density, and everything. All right. When forming a solution, there are 3 ways to speed up the rate of the dissolving process. You can stir it. That brings more solvent in contact with the solute, so it dissolves quicker. You can increase the surface area. So if you break up a solid by crushing it into a powder, it's going to allow more solvent to come in contact with the solute, so it will dissolve quicker. Or you can increase the temperature. Increasing temperature speeds up particles, causing them to bump into each other, breaking apart and coming in contact with a solvent. Those are 3 ways to speed up the rate of the dissolving process. Okay, solubility is the maximum amount of a solute that can be dissolved in a given amount of solvent at a temperature. That's like a measure of something. What is the solubility of this substance? Okay, concentration is the percent by volume of a solute in solvent. So your salt water is going to be different if you put 3 little salt grains in a glass of water, or if you put a whole teaspoon in a glass of water. Okay, the concentration of salt would be different. If it's concentrated, that means there's a large amount of solute. So that would be like a big amount of salt in the salt water. If it's dilute, then it's only a small amount of solute in the solvent. Okay, there's 3 types of solutions here we're going to talk about: saturated, unsaturated, and supersaturated. It is saturated if it contains all the solute it can hold at a given temperature. It's unsaturated, so that's as much as it can. So if I have a glass of water and I add salt to it, and it keeps dissolving up until a certain point, and then we stop right then, that would be saturated. Unsaturated, we could still dissolve more solute at a given temperature. So if we put in a teaspoon of salt into a glass of water and dissolved it, we could still put another teaspoon in and dissolve it. And supersaturated means that it contains more solute than a saturated one, and the solution is unstable. Okay, that is the end of the notes for this first section. So you need to write those notes into your notebook and watch the other video I have with the experiment so that you can do the activity for this section.